Hi, this is Soundist. I am giving the download on JHope's Zane Lowe interview on Apple Music. This interview was a really nice one to watch and listen to because he was so calm and level-headed. And overall, I think he was able to showcase what a world-class talent and person he is. He talked about how since his military discharge, he's now embarked on his first solo tour and it's his first time doing stadium shows solo. He and Zane covered how his military service made him realize how important what he does actually is. I'm sure going from such a regimented environment to a more creative, kind of inspiring environment was such a release for him. But also, I feel like his experience as a K-pop trainee within that system and just his career as a whole probably gave him a lot of the discipline and the structure that really helped him in the military as well. But he was able to have that time away to really understand his experience in the music industry and get that excitement back. He says he's grateful for being able to do something that he loves so much. And later on in the interview, Zane asks what he would do if he wasn't a singer. And he says that he hopefully would have done something related to the industry, but if not, he would have had a government job like his parents. And that makes me think of way back in the day when BTS put out No More Dream. They even mentioned that's the number one dream job, government employee. And I think maybe his mom was a government employee. His dad was a teacher. So I think they certainly had ideas that he would do something perhaps more practical like that. But now that he's reached this level of success, and probably even earlier on in his journey, they're, really supportive of him and his own journey and him staying true to his path, because I think he would have only achieved what he has because he's so passionate. They talk about how even his name is an important moniker for him, and it's kind of a guiding light for how he carries himself. I know he's probably felt a lot of burden having that kind of a name because he always has to show this bright personality and be the sunshine for the members and for the rest of the group, but it's probably helped him be more steadfast in trying to look past the negative aspects of his experience, and it gives him a role with a certain responsibility, and maybe that has helped him carry on in such a positive way. They talk about his project Jack in the Box, which is the album he released before he went into the military, and specifically the song More, because I think that song is really kind of removed from his bright, positive personality, kind of a persona. And he talks about how he was able to break out of the box that maybe the industry, his label, and he himself created, and he was able to show more sides of his personality. He was able to kind of indulge in the darker parts of his personality. I feel like he's always wanted to show the best sides of him, but with that project, maybe he wanted to show the entirety of him. And so after he was discharged from the military, he wanted to show his best to the fans, and he felt that he was able to do that through singles as opposed to an album. And so I think since military service, he released Sweet Dreams with Miguel, and then Mona Lisa as well. And I think there might be another one on the way. So with the work that he has released since the military, he wanted to see how producers would interpret him and what color his music would be through the eyes of somebody else. And he worked with producers like Blake and Cashmere Cat. Overall, this interview really just made me realize that some of the biggest artists actually have the best character, and they're able to recognize how the people around them, like staff, help make up the machine that is powering their career. And they're the ones who express the most gratitude for everybody's contribution, because they know acutely how much work goes into everything in order to sustain what they've built. And so I was really struck by how great and sincere and how he's able to acknowledge other people's hard work and express that to them. He also mentioned how the other members will be completing their service in June, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of talks they have about what direction they're going to go in. And there's going to be so many varied experiences between them all, and so they'll just have to hear everybody out and see where they're at and where they want to go with their music together. I'm just glad that BTS is such a cohesive, kind of well-oiled machine. And I think that this kind of BTS 2.0 iteration of them post-military life, they're all kind of coming into themselves more as men. They've done a lot more solo projects, and now they're meeting each other again at this new point in their lives and their careers. And it'll be really exciting to see what they produce. So what kind of music do you think BTS will create once they're all together, and what do you think their synergy will be like?